Hello everyone. Okay, just now we stopped at responsibility towards the environment. Okay, then now we look at the responsibility towards the investor. Okay, investor which is the one who fund our business. Okay, so in the insider trading, we're using the confidential information to gain from the purchase or sales of the stock. Okay, so in the responsibility to the investor, what we have to do is we have to get all the information confidentially. Okay, we have to keep all the information confidentially, especially the information about the finance related information. Okay, and then at the part of the company also we have to ensure that all the information given to our investor is the correct information, so there is no misrepresentation, especially in the part of the finance. Okay, because the investors are the one who is funded our business, so they have to know that the correct performance of the organization. Okay, and then when we talk about the approaches of the social responsibility, okay, so we have four approach of the responsibility. The first one is the obstructionist, second one is defensive, the third one is accommodative, and the fourth one is proactive. Okay, so the proactive is the highest level of the social responsibility. The lowest one is, we call it as the obstructionist. Okay, obstructionist is means that we involve in the social responsibility as little as possible. Okay, it's just that we want to attempt to deny or cover up the violation. Okay, maybe because of, for example, the company they do the social responsibility because of tax relief. Okay, they wants to get the tax relief, then they fulfill the social responsibility. So when they think that they do it because of that, then this is, we call it as the obstructionist stance. Okay, the lowest approach of the social responsibility. Okay, and then the second level of the social responsibility, we call it as defensive. Okay, defensive is means that the company only meet the minimum legal requirement and its commitment to the group or the individual in the social environment. Okay, defensive is means that the company doing the social responsibility is just because of they wants to avoid any legal action. Okay, for example, you produce the product, you produce, for example, you produce food and beverage product, so that you have to send your product to be examined by the Ministry of Health. Okay, that is because of the requirement. Okay, requirement needed. It is not because of the company willingly to do it. Okay, that is what we call it as defensive stance. Okay, and then the third one is accommodative stance, which is the company specifically asked to do so, and it will exceed the legal minimum and its commitment to the group. Accommodative is means that the company doing the social responsibility willingly. Okay, willingly, but in a minimum level. Maybe the company has constraint in terms of financial. Okay, maybe they have a constraint in terms of the employee to do the corporate social responsibility, but they have the intention to do it. Okay, so that's why they do it at the minimum level. It is not about the legal action, but they are willingly to do it. So this is, we call it as accommodative stance. Okay, the highest one is proactive stance, whereas the company actively seek the opportunity to contribute to the well-being of the group and individual in its social environment. Okay, proactive stance is means that the company consistently contribute for the social responsibility. Okay, for example, in a program bersamamu, you can see that some of the company they continuously contribute, like Beras Faiza. Okay, so that they are, this company we call it as the proactive stance. Okay, so they consistently contribute, okay, the social responsibility to the social society. All right. Okay, when we talk about the social responsibility and the small business, okay, for the small business, ethical issues are the question of the individual ethics. Okay, but in the question of the social responsibility, they must ask themselves if they can afford for the social agenda. That is the concern of the small business. Actually, they have the intention to do it, okay, but their constraint is they are not afford to do it. Okay, so that's why you can see that sometimes small businesses they will they will discuss among themselves, and then they just contribute to one program. Okay, you can see for example like Bersamamu. Okay, so they wants to contribute but maybe a little part, all right, so that maybe they contribute a little product, a portion of the product, so that they still contribute for the social responsibility, but in a not in the large amount of contribution. Okay, and then when we talk about the government and the social responsibility, okay, the government has to already put the regulation, okay, the establish of the law and rules that dictate what the companies can and cannot do. Okay, so there is as I mentioned to you. Okay, for example, if you are the company providing the producing the food and beverage, so you have to go through Ministry of Health, okay, to examine your product, okay, to ensure the quality it is not harmful. And then if your company producing electronic item, so you have to go through to ISO, okay, to ensure that the quality of your product, okay, so that is how the government set up the regulation so that the company can fulfill, okay, the minimum requirement, okay, for in order to ensure that the product is a good quality and at the same time fulfill the social responsibility. Okay, and then the government also do it the political action committee, special organization create, okay, to solicit the money then distribute to the political candidates. Okay, some of the government, okay, they do some of the program and then get the contribution from the businesses, okay, from the company, profit oriented company, and then they give the money through the political candidates. Okay, so it means that political candidates become the representative, okay, to contribute to send out the money. Okay, and then another one is the lobbying. We use the person or the group to formally represent the organization or the group of the organization before the political body. Okay, for example, like Bersamamu lah, okay, where we do it the program without any political bodies. Okay, so that that particular person, okay, when they wants to contribute more and then they wants to highlight their companies contributed in that program, so they send the person in charge, okay, to represent on behalf of the organization. Okay, for the formal organization dimension, okay, in terms of the legal compliance, this is the extent to which the organization conform the local, states, federal, and the international laws. Okay, legal compliance, this means that the company has to comply. Okay, the company has to fulfill on a certain rules and regulation that is because of it is already stated in law. Okay, in the ethical compliance, whereas the organization or the member of organization follow the basic ethics and the standard of the behavior. Okay, so that's why most of the company, in order to control the behavior of the employee, so they provide the code of ethics or standard of ethics. Okay, so that all the employee will follow the standard behavior that they have to comply when they are working with the organization. In the philanthropic giving, which is awarding or the funding or awarding of fund or give to the charity or the others worthy causes. Okay, philanthropic giving usually when we contribute in a certain program, okay, we do the press conference and then we give the fund or the gift, okay, for the charity in a public conference, okay, in the press conference. That is, we call it as philanthropic. Okay, you can see for example like during Chinese New Year, okay, most of the company they donate some of the fund to those who are poor family. Okay, so that is one of the example of the philanthropic. Okay, and then when we want to evaluate the social responsibility, so there is a corporate social audit that will evaluate the social responsibility. So corporate audit is the systematic analysis of the firm's success in using the fund for meeting the social responsibility goals. Okay, where in the corporate social responsibility, corporate social audit, whereas the community will ensure that the company already done the program that they are claimed, okay, as a social responsibility. Okay, so they have to, when the company when the company organize one of the program, get the fund from the public, so we have to ensure that the fund already given, okay, the money already given to that particular people. Okay, so that is we call it as a social audit. Okay, so that's all in the chapter 2. So thank you.